Collected Essays of Valerie Lynn Stevens. Non-resistance to nature serves the ultimate good. Part 3. In continuum, let me speculate abstractly upon what other possible ways in which evil can be defined. Let us totally reverse it for speculation. What if everything we now call good is evil, and everything we now call evil is good? Oh, wait, this has already been said and done. No, it is being done as we speak. For the world calls bad good, and good bad. I just hope I haven't committed the one unpardonable sin of blasphemy. May lightning not strike me now. But for speculation, what if all that we have been taught is wrong? Contrary to popular sentiment, I really don't think that humans need to be inundated with guilt-inducing notions of damnation or salvation to be able to live decent, healthy lives. For many, good and evil in different ways, even including God, are living, virtuous, upstanding lives. But the first commandment holds me to it, thou shalt have no other gods before me. And so it seems that I am already stuck in my ways. But I will do my best to transcend this very common human tendency, nonetheless. Furthermore, another way evil can be defined is by calling it all of those words, body language, and deeds or non-actions that get in the way of good being manifested through us and in the world. In this version, evil is the distraction, vying for our attention at the expense of any mode of being and living which would promote the best things to be had and manifested during each our own human experience. Evil taketh away from all the joy and peace that focusing upon and bringing about the good can bring. In the Judeo-Christian tradition, Satan is in competition with God not only for souls, but for disciples and followers. And whomever we choose to devote our utmost attention to, our souls will become property of as well. There is the scripture that one cannot serve two masters, and there is the scripture that God is a jealous God. Then there is the scripture which speaks of the tactics of the devil increasing as the time is short on the earth for this age-old battle. And evil does not always have to manifest itself in dramatically violent or catastrophic ways. In other words, the force of evil is at hand in very subtle ways as well. For example, there is the notion of good that one refrains from doing as being in itself an act of direct, although usually unconscious, evil. In fact, evil can be seen in its most pervasive form as a general apathy and indifference towards life. It is the apocryphal deadly sin of sloth in physical motivation and slothery of mind and heart. In the Judeo-Christian scriptures, God talks about spitting the lukewarm out of his mouth, for God rather prefers that we get excited about this existence which he has granted to us to do his works. Hence, passion, contrary to its typical controversial connotations, is a virtue in kind, and reserve, a sin. However, it is important to note that when I say passion, I mean the purest form of it, of course. Passion for pursuing the fruits of the Spirit rather than those of the so-called flesh. And likewise, if one is indifferent towards the right things, then lukewarmness is justified in God's eyes. For example, if I have a tendency to refrain from fornication, then, although it would be rare for me not to naturally feel a desire for it, to cultivate and affect enough of an apathetic attitude towards it is serving the highest good for myself, God, and others. It is, for the most part, how we need to look at different things which will determine how our lives fare. Hence, the subtler ways in which the devil plies his trade are often the most effective and the most insidious. Often, to sum it up, evil is coddled by what is said, not said, or done, in passivity, much like the Chinese theology of yin, which I mentioned earlier, with the feminine, passive force of the universe being seen also as the evil or the negative or destructive force. This way of viewing what evil is basically says that anything which somehow hinders or interferes directly or indirectly with any good that could be allowed to manifest itself is evil. Nothing can be rushed. We must allow all to unfold as it naturally is wont to do. If we live intuitively and get right with nature, all will be well.